students. In the last class, we have studied about the different phylum related with the kingdom Animalia. Besides the phylum Porifera, the phylum Coelenterata, we have studied 3 more phylum, and these 3 more phylum means Platyhelminth, Nematoda and Annelida. All these 3 are related with the worm. That is why it is known as Platyhelminths known as flatworm, Nematoda known as roundworm, Annelida known as ringworm or segmented worm. Just I would like to revise what we have studied. And after the study of these 3 different phylum that is related with the worm, how they differ from each other. Here flatworms, roundworms, segmented worms. Just I have given here few points for you, just for your revision. Number 1, like body shape, dorsiventrally flattened. That means from the dorsal view and from the ventral side and from the dorsal side, both sides will be flattened, chipta. And body slender, roundworm. Slender means thin, slim, patla. और इसके बाद segmented worm में body elongated and cylindrical, गैस सिलेंडर के शेप का निकला हुआ. इसके बाद unsegmented, second point, it is also unsegmented, but you have seen only the Annelida where there is a segmentation present. And acoelomate, pseudocoelomate, true coelomate. The last point here I have mentioned, alimentary canal with single opening. Single opening means just the mouth part is present. Alimentary canal with 2 openings. 2 openings means the 2 important openings of the alimentary canal, that is the mouth part and the anus part. So here are some I have summarized about the worm. Now after this we have the 3 different phyla that are related with the non-chordates. And after finishing of these 3, what are these 3 phyla which are related with the non-chordate? It is after this we will study those 3 phyla. What are those 3 phyla? Number 1, Arthropoda, number 2, Mollusca, and last one is the Echinodermata. So that are the phylum which we will study today. And we also study today, we also know about the characteristic features of the phylum Protochordata, that is the intermediate between the non-chordates and the chordates. In the earlier classes, you have studied about how you will recognize a chordate and a non-chordate. If there is presence of the notochord, that means that is the chordates. But in the Protochordata, we have seen that the notochord is present, no doubt, but it is at the embryonic stage, at the earlier stage, and after that it will not found, and it will not also replaced into the vertebral column. That is why Protochordata not included under the vertebrata. That means chordates may be differentiated into 2 different parts depending upon the presence of the notochord. Understand? That is the one we have seen, the Protochordata, and the other the chordates. But the chordates having the vertebral column, that is included under the vertebrata. That means we have may see that how notochord replaced after certain stage, and at certain stage of the life, if there is a presence, and after that if there is a absence, in all these things are related with the other parts of the lesson. After the finishing of the non-codeds, we will study all those. Now after this, we have to start our today's first phylum, that is the Arthropoda. The first phylum that for our today's lesson is the Arthropoda. It is the phylum where we first time will see the joint foot. Arthros means joint and pods means foot. And these joint foot animals are able to move their body parts. Understand? That is why it is somewhat advanced than those which we have left before this. Like Arthropoda is the largest and the first phylum. Out of the all phylum, the more number of species is present here in this. It is the largest, and the second largest is the mollusca. Arthropoda is the largest and the first phylum in which the appendages of the organism such as legs, antennae is related with tactile. It is known as tactile. That means it is may help in the sensation of टच. समझें, टच के सेंसेशन को परसेप्ट करने में ये सहायता करता है एंटेना. एंड माउथ पार्ट्स हैव जॉइंट्स एंड आर मूवेबल. जॉइंट के रहने के कारण, जिस तरह से ये जॉइंट जो है, ये जॉइंट के कारण क्या है कि इसके अंदर इस तरह से मूवमेंट हो सकता है. तो इसके पैरों में जॉइंटेड लेग रहने के कारण, जॉइंटेड फुट रहने के कारण ये अपने पैरों को मूव करा सकता है, जो कि इससे पहले वाले में हम लोगों ने नहीं देखा था. ठीक है. दे लिव. अब यहाँ पे जो है E.V. साइबोल्ड, ये फर्स्ट पर्सन हु हैज़ इंट्रोड्यूस्ड द टर्म आर्थ्रोपोडा. और उसके बाद कुछ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर्स आप यहाँ देख लें. दे लिव इन ऑल टाइप्स ऑफ हैबिटेट्स, ऑन लैंड, इन फ्रेश वाटर एंड इन सी. दे आर बायलेटरली सिमेट्रिकल, ट्रिप्लोब्लास्टिक एंड up to the organ system organization. Understand? Body is externally segmented and is covered by an exoskeleton made up of chitin. The body is divided into head, thorax and abdomen. यहाँ पे ये जो पॉइंट है इसको समझना है कि a blood filled cavity, hemocoel is formed. This hemocoel is actually formed in place of the, that means coelom, coelomatic. This is coelomatic, but this coelom is replaced by the presence of blood filled cavity, that is known as hemocoel. So here are some I have given here some features. Maybe some more features are also, like there are presence of the respiratory organs, as you have seen here. They have the habitat like the water and land also. That is why they may respire with the help of the trachea, and they can also respire with the help of the gills and the book lungs. In the spider, book lungs are present. Trachea are the respiratory organs for the cockroach, which are the members of this phylum. And this phylum is also known as the phylum for the insects. That is the vast group of the animals are present in this phylum. Let us see some more important features of this phylum. Here you may see some more features, like these three I have mentioned here. The respiration through the gills, book lungs or trachea. They have an open circulatory system. You well aware with the open circulatory system, that means the blood will circulate, not circulate within the confined vessel. They can directly bath, they can directly circulate the body cavity, and that is why that body cavity replaced by the hemocoel. Understand? And sexes are separate, and the familiar examples are here given, like cockroach, prawn, scorpion, spider, centipede, horsefly, butterfly, but there are varieties. Insect entomology, a separate branch of biology created for the insect study of the insect, that is the entomology, depending upon these vast varieties. And you have seen two important things here. Hemocoel, I have defined this one here, portion of the body cavity functioning as part of circulatory system as seen in insects like cockroach. This one, and the appendages you have seen. What is this appendages? Portion of body that projects and has a free end, like in cases of our the other animals, in cases of the here the presence of the jointed foot, the presence of the antenna, these are the appendages. शरीर से बाहर निकला हुआ फ्री है ना, जैसे हमारा हाथ है, फोर लिम्ब है, ये हिंड लिम्ब है, ये पैर, ये सारे जो है अपेंडेजेस, चूँकि इसमें जो है आर्थ्रोपोडा में अपेंडेजेस को हम लोग बहुत ही इनिशियल स्टेज में देख रहे हैं, जबकि हम लोग में ये वेल अपेंडेजेस नहीं कहा जा रहा, बल्कि फिर वो ऑर्गन का रूप ले रहा है, इसलिए उसको मगर अपेंडेजेस ही है वो इनिशियली, और वही जो है डेवलप करके रिप्लेस करके ये अपेंडेजेस से फिर फोर लिम्ब, हिंड लिम्ब और सारे अपने पार्ट जो बाहर की तरफ निकले हुए होते हैं, प्रोजेक्टेड आउटवर्ड्स। तो ये जो है आपने देखा, कुछ इसमें नई चीज़ें आपको समझ में आई होंगी। अपेंडेजेस है, हेमोसिल है, और अब इसके बाद जो है हम लोग द नेक्स्ट इज़ द मोलास्का, एंड आफ्टर दैट वी विल स्टडी अबाउट द इकाइनोडर्माटा। हियर द phylum Mollusca and its important characteristic features. It is commonly known as soft-bodied animals, as because its body is extremely soft. But this soft body, which having the skin, that is the mantle, that secretes calcareous substances by which a hard shell has formed that will protect the body. It is a special features of this phylum. See here, mollusca have extremely soft body covered by a thin fold of skin called mantle. The term mollusca was coined by Linnaeus in 1758, but it is also in the history that Aristotle was the first person who has introduced the term. It is the second largest phylum. The coelomic cavity is reduced to hemocoel, just like which you have seen in the case of the arthropoda also. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and organ system level of organization and unsegmented. But here is the cockroaches class, the insect, the arthropoda are the segmented, but these are not segmented, as segmented with organ system of body organization. The body is covered by a thin fold of skin called mantle, which secretes calcareous calcium carbonate, that is the shell. The shell provide protection to the body. Body is divisible into head, muscular, foot, and visceral mass. This visceral mass means the greater space of the body cavity, where especially like abdomen is present. The body is divisible into head, muscular, foot, and visceral mass. So these are the some special features. Some more features may we see here, like the excretory system, the excretory organs like the metanephridia and the respiratory. May you see some more features with examples. Here may you see some more features like the circulatory system is open, respiration takes place by gills or lungs or by both. They have kidney like organs called metanephridia for excretion purpose. Sexes are separate. Examples are here: octopus, pila, unio, loligo. So these are the some special features related with the phylum Mollusca. Now one more phylum in this part, that means the part which I am talking about, the non-chordates. Understand? And after the finishing of this, we will introduce you. I will introduce you the notochord, the protochordata, and some parts of the vertebrata. Now the animals with spiny skin, that is the echinodermata. Echino means spiny, echino means spiny, and derma means skin. Derma means skin. Echinodermata includes animals which have spines embedded in the skin all over their body. Thus, these are known as spiny skinned animals. This name was first used by Jacob Calin in 1734. They are exclusively marine animals, triploblastic, true coelomatic with organ system level of body organization. The system is complete. They have hard calcium carbonate structures as a skeleton. These are the some features. May we look about one or two more features with examples. More characteristic features like the coelomic or body cavity is modified into water vascular system. In the earlier two phylums, you have seen that coelomatic cavity may replaced by the presence of the hemocoel. Here it modified into water vascular system. Echinoderms have hundreds of tube feet for the purpose of locomotion, attachment to the substratum, and for catching the prey. शिकार को पकड़ने के लिए जहाँ पे रहता है उसको, उस जगह को, उस स्थान को मजबूती से पकड़ने के लिए और लोकोमोशन के लिए उसके पास ये ट्यूब फिट होते हैं. Sexes are separate, but they have also ability for regeneration. That is the unique features of this phylum. That means if they lost any part or organs of the body, they may regenerate those lost or damaged part of the body. In this way, we have already completed the first part of the animal kingdom Animalia, and the second part, when we will move to the second part, that means the part which are related with the chordates. Before that, we may have one intermediate phylum, that is the protochordata, that is the link between the non-chordates and the chordates, as because they having the notochord at the embryonic stage, and in the vertebrate, which is also the subphylum of chordates, having the notochord persist as long as life, and it is replaced by the vertebral column. In the earlier part of the class, we have studied that depending upon the presence of the notochord, the animal may be categorized the chordates and the non-chordates. Chordates and the non-chordates. So far, we have talked, we have studied, and we have discussed about the different phyla related with the non-chordates. That means there is no presence of notochord. But now we will start the chordata where there are presence of notochord. The string or the rod like structure on the dorsal side. But in this part also there is some diversification regarding the presence, as because in some group of the animal it is present, but only at the earlier stage of the life, like at embryonic stage or the very beginning, and it will be later on may not found. And but in case of the other, they may persist as long as life and also replaced by the vertebral column. That is why here we require a classification of chordata and up to their classes. So when we first divide it chordata, like due to the presence or the absence of the notochord, then may we see here like the, when you will write in this way, phylum chordata. Now this phylum chordata, based on the presence or absence, you have seen that notochord at the earlier stage of life, may we write in this way and put here the name of the subphylum, that is the protochordata. That means this is the subphylum. Understand? And if we will talk about the notochord persists and it replaced by vertebral column, then may we call it vertebrates. This is the second subphylum of the phylum chordata. Now up to classes I have written here. Why? As because we may again classify these vertebrates into 5 different classes. What are these 5 different classes? The first one is the Pisces fish. The second one, the third, the fourth and the fifth. The second one is the amphibia, and the third one reptilia, and the fourth one apes, birds group, and the last one is the mammals. In this way, these are the classes. These are the classes of subphylum vertebrates. These are the classes. That means vertebrates having the 5 class: Pisces, amphibia, reptilia, apes, and the mammals. We will discuss this all later on, but today at least we must know about the features, special features or characteristic features of the two subphylums like the here Protochordata and the other subphylum vertebrates. Now look here, as we have seen in the classification of the phylum Chordata, what we have seen, there are two different subphylum. Here look about some basic features, structural features of the phylum, as it is famous with the presence of the string or cord-like structure, that is it is derived from the Greek word chordae, that means the string or cord. Eta, that means bearing, that means string or cord bearing animals. Chordates have a stiff supporting rod like notochord at some stage of their life. Here it is very clear that at some stage, that means can persist as long as the life, as they cannot persist as long as life, they may persist at some stage of the life. Phylum Chordata was named by Balfour in 1888. This is the basic, that means the triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical and the organ system level of organization, well developed animal it is. All chordates possess, but here these three are the basic features of a chordate. But here may you also see that these features at some stage of their life may present at the earlier stage and may it modified into the in the later part of the life stage, may it not present and it may replaced or it may be modified. Understand? Like the dorsal hollow tubular nerve cord, presence of notochord, a series of pharyngeal gill slits. So these are some features, and may you also can write that circulatory system, presence of heart, well developed heart, and number 2, presence of closed circulatory system, that means the blood circulates within the confined vessels like the arteries, veins and capillaries, and a well developed heart is also present. Kidneys are the excretory organ. Kidneys are the excretory organs. Fertilization may be internal, external, that is why I am not going to mention that. So these are some basic and the exclusive features of the phylum Chordata. Some exclusive features here, which you have seen these 3 features and some basic features. And after this, now as we have seen in the classification of the phylum Chordata, there are presence of the 2 subphylum, subphylum 1, that is the Protochordata, and subphylum 2 chordates, subphylum 2 vertebrates. So now we shall study about the basic features of the Protochordata. Now let us see here the basic characteristic features of the subphylums Protochordata. We have seen the basic features of the subphylum Chordata, and after that we may see we have seen the basic features of the phylum Chordata, and now we should study about the basic features of the subphylum Protochordata. Here the proto means first. It is very familiar to you, like you have seen in the case of the prokaryon. The first nucleus, the primitive nucleus. It means they are the first animal bearing the cord or string, but at the primitive stage. Protochordates are believed to be the first animals to have notochord at some stage of their lives. ये जो पॉइंट है नंबर 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ये सारे पॉइंट्स मैंने एक ही में डाल दिए, बायलेटरल, सिमेट्रिकल, ट्रू सिलोमेट, बट हियर इज ए वन एक्सेप्शन in comparison to the chordate which we have seen earlier, that here they are symmetrically triploblastic, segmented, coelomatic, true coelomatic and organ system level organization. These are exclusively marine animals. Notochord present at some stage in their life history. Absence of vertebral column. Heart is without any chambers. But you may see when you will study about the different classes of the vertebrate, like the Pisces, like the amphibia, like the reptilia, like the apes, like the mammals. In all these classes you may see the chambers of heart. Heart is without any chambers and blood lacks RBC. Sexes are either separate or united. Here are some examples: Belanoglossus, Hardmania, Amphioxus. These are the some examples. In the next class we will study about the basic features of the vertebrates and their different 5 classes.